Well, there you go. Welcome back to the Press Box. We are live from the Golden Tulip Hotel here in Kampala as we jump into the biggest sports headlines of the week. Thank you very much for joining us every single Monday at 9:45 p.m. and keep those reactions coming through. Keep those fingers very busy this evening. The hashtag is NTV Press Box. Whichever story you really want to react to, we are free. And we shall be responding to most of those reactions as the show goes on. Now, before we went to the break, we promised you that we'd be having a man who we now understand is having his first exclusive live interview on any show on Ugandan television. He's also a man that has been all over the African continent. But his coming to the show is really expensive for us because we all have to learn French now. We have to discuss so many French issues. So let me start off at the very top. And this is the last French word I'll be saying on the show today. Mr. Sebastien Desabre, bonsoir.
Oh, nice. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very, very much for being on the show.
Thank you for your invitation.
I have so many questions from a footballing perspective I would want to ask you, but I'll start off with the fact that you've been across Africa. And you realize our interview will go back to day one because we haven't had an opportunity of having you here. You've been all over the African continent at some of the biggest clubs. How do you find Uganda? How good is Uganda?
Yes, Uganda is a new project. It's a different project for me. I train. It's a lot of country in Africa, sure, but it's different because whole in whole country are different, and I think it's during the 4 months it's a good experience. Now I success to understand whole team, all players, whole organization in federation, and in the side of my life, of my private life. So I know so lot of things about Uganda, but I have the time and I have the focus on my job, and I am happy for the moment.
The few coaches I've talked to say by the time you coach the national team, you should be old, retiring from club football. This was your first experience at a national level. What changes? Do you feel more bored sometimes that you have so much time without matches?
Yes, but it's totally different. It's another job. But for me, with 9 years with a club in the biggest club in Africa, it's my choice to change the way for my experience and for to share my knowledge on the country in the different job, but sure is totally different because we need to structure the organization to follow the players, the player abroad, and I saw a lot of game in championship also. It's the big chance for me is to start my job with a Chan, because immediately I know a lot of players. I understand the football and the mentality of player in Uganda, and sure it's different, but maybe it's less session, less on the field, but more management, more talking with a player. I see a lot of game on my laptop because I have a software. I can see a lot of game in the world. For example, yesterday one guy play in Denmark afternoon, and always immediately I can saw the game. But it's totally different. But it's good for my way, and also I have a big motivation to success in my story within Uganda.
You were recently in England to see some Ugandan players, Jordan Obita at Reading FC and Alex at Doncaster. How did that go? Are you considering calling them up to the Uganda Cranes?
No, it's a part of my job to follow the players. It's important to keep the structure of Uganda Cranes because in the few years I need to continue the good work of Moses Basena and Mincho, and it's very important to also improve some position. Donc I look some player to improve in some position, especially in the central back and the strikers.
And Farouk Mia, you haven't worked with him. He's a player, the Ugandans hold so dear because he scored the goal that broke, this very, very long AFCON jinx. He had problems breaking into the Standard Liège team, and he was loaned out to another team, and he's of recent been turning on the style, scored actually a goal over the weekend and set up another. I think the weekend before he had also scored a beauty of a goal. I don't know if you've been watching him. What plans do you have for him?
Yes, I'm watching. I speak with Farouk this afternoon about his game. I'm watching his game. Was an assist and the good shoot in the good shoots, but step by step he's fit now. It's very important for him to look confidence, because there's a situation in the Belgium club is not easy. Sometimes you can to be a good players, but the choice of the coach, the tactical systems is not for him. It's very important. I discussed with his agent in January, and Farouk the mind it was to play. Okay, it's Azerbaijan is not the big league, but he's in for 10 games. I think he keep one or two games, and after he come back in Belgium. But he need to look one solution to improve, because he have a quality. He's a good boy. He like so much the national team. Always he called me for some news, and very happy for him for the goal and assist in the last game.
Coach, I want to go slightly back to the beginning about your appointment, because by the time you were appointed, you had an idea what you wanted to do with the Uganda Cranes, and in your first press conference at Fufa House, you said you wanted to have an attacking philosophy.
Yeah.
Where did you find the team in terms of quality, in terms of the players Mitchell had left behind? Because my big concern here was you came in, a few days later, you had to go to Chan. Where did you find the team, and how far have you gone with a philosophy you want to bring to Ugandan football?
Yes, it's my philosophy, but I said also my philosophy I need to adapt with the level of the player and the level of infrastructure. For example, in the last 3 ND games against Sao Tome and Malawi, we put some principle, defensive and attacking principle, but I'm disappointed with the level of the field on the Dambole Stadium, because when you want to create a game, you want to we put one philosophy. The player need to the good condition, and it's the next challenge for me to improve and to try to work attention about this field, because it's very important to create for create the game. And the 2 next game of the national team, the crucial game is at home against Tanzania and Lesotho, and it's very important. But okay, for me, I have my philosophy, and we explain with the player in the last camp by video, and I think we try against Sao Tome and Malawi to look some combination, and I am happy with that. But sure, we need to develop this way. But we need a lot of work, and also good infrastructure for that.
Pitches have to improve.
Yeah, I remember in your first game against Zambia, they played maybe the way you want, but going into the second half, they were really tired. You could see that the players are really unfit, and it's not your problem that they were unfit, because you had them for just a few days before the tournament. What is it that you think you can do to get the players, to the level where you want? Because now you have actually time to do this.
Yes, okay. We think at some solution about that to improve the physical level, but this moment is the end of the season. We keep the club for the challenge, because in the top of the classification for relegation is very close. And yes, I think we need to improve this part. With I think we need to create one diploma, physical diploma, and to try to share some experience. And also in the last camp we put one fitness coach. Yes, Jerome D'Antonio. It's good for the physical level, but also for the rest between the game. But I saw a lot of game, and the game is very sharp with a fight with a long ball. Is not is not easy for the striker, for example, but for the conditioning also. But okay, for the local scene, it's important to improve. After, for the national team, sure, we depend the time, the game of time of the player in his club is totally different. The job in a fitness coach in club or in national team. In club is we develop the fit of the players, and in national team you maintain the fit. Is totally different.
Yeah, which is part of the big debate, because before you came in we had a captain, I'm sure you know about him, Geoffrey Massa, who in so many ways was our point man up front. So you come in at a time when Geoffrey Massa, and lead striker and captain, has actually retired. Of course, Micho has left. We have a couple of, I should say, aging players in that Uganda Cranes team that have been there for a very long time. Now, with your new philosophy and a new coach, it means you are looking out for a bigger, wide, pool of players. How interesting has this been vis-a-vis what is happening in the Uganda Premier League today? We haven't scored that many goals since you came through, Mr. Desabre. A goal, I think, at Chan. We haven't had that many in the friendlies in there. Do you have a goal-scoring problem? Do you still think you have a job to scout so many players from the league at the moment? Or do you say you've picked out a good number of players that you're going to focus on now?
Yes, well, but when I seen in Uganda, a lot of people speak about the strikers, because yes, the strikers score only 5 or 6 goals by season, and for the moment some striker is scoring, like Sankatuka, like Shaban, like Dan, for example, and it's a challenge between Carissa also to goal against Kasese, but sure, is in this position. I look some solution for play one striker or 2 strikers also, and for the next camp again I set some player in this position, and I will call some new player in this position.
You seem to have, I don't want to say a problem, but in the 2 friendly games against Sao Tome and Malawi, you seem like you wanted Luaga to play maybe in the number 10 position. You didn't have someone to connect, the midfield and the striking, or the attaque, if you want to insist in French. Do you think that Mia, with his current form, can fit this position, or are you looking for Ndugwa, or who will fit this position for you?
Yes, for me it's I set Lugua Kizito, and I try Ndugua also, but yes, the next camp I will try another solution maybe, but Luaga or Ndugua can play also winger or playmaker also. One is its first possibilities, and the second possibilities is to play two playmaker also in 4-1-4-1 for example also, but with Matthias Lule we trying we working on this choice, and but we have a direction. We know the direction.
Coach, you've obviously coached on many countries within the continent, and one of the countries where you've coached is Cameroon, and it so happens that the Uganda under-20 side is going to play Cameroon in the next round of qualifiers in the Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Having coached in Cameroon, I would believe you're well placed to tell us what sort of challenge do you think the under-20 side is going to meet, because we know Cameroonians to be big sides, you know, they have this physique, and looking at our under 20 side, it's not really the most endowed in terms of size. Do you think they have under 20 side has the right skill set, you know, to match up against the Cameroonians?
Yes, it's a game is difficult, but I know this team. The coach of this team is my last assistant in Counter Sport. I know some players. He play with 8 players abroad. For example, the goalkeeper plays in Atletico Bilbao. But I think we have our chance. Really, because it's not the same philosophy, it's not the same football. It's more strong in Cameroon, but we have good players with a technical good players, and we start the camp first day. We have 10 days before the game to prepare this opposition, and with Matthias we try to improve a little the level, but I like this team because the boys is very focused on the national team and give 100% for the team. But the first it's very important to not receive one goal at home.
Okay. The reason why I asked the question about, you know, the physique of the Cameroonians is you know, the KCCA over the weekend, I would say on Friday actually, they played Vipers, and one of you know, the standout themes from that match was you know, the clash between Tadeo Luanga and Alan Okello, and the KCCA manager was really bitterly disappointed by the kind of style of play that Tadeo had, and I'm thinking, you that's the same style of play, you know, that the Cameroonians are going to mete out on Alan Okello. So you've looked at Alan Okello. Will he be, you know, safe? Because he's the cornerstone of that.
But I also think, Coach, to add to what Mado is talking about, there's been a very I don't know how many of the back pages you've been following, but there's been a very big debate in the Ugandan media, and some time back here we had the KCCA head coach Mike Mutebi, and we were talking about young players coming in with the national side. You're the man who is in charge of calling these players to the national team. Are you planning to call Alan Okello at his age to the national team? Are you the coach who is going to say, I don't care about your age, if your quality, I'm bringing you to the national side?
No, it depends of the quality of the players, not about the age, but step by step, because Alan Okello play a good season, but he need time also for improve his quality. He takes some experience about the national team now under 20 with a big game against Viper, for example, but the reality against the big clash against Viper in KCC, it's is important moment. Is two guy in go out on this game. Is Carissa scored 2 goals and Shaban scored 2 goals. Is important in it's very good in the crucial moments, no. But he have talent. But I follow this guy. Also other players, and if I think he can help the national team, I call him. The age is not a problem, but now the next step for him it's under 20.
Coach, how happy are you? And this is a general question, not really to turn negative on the show, but how happy are you in your role as the national team coach? How well supported are you by the federation? How are your working conditions as a Ugandan football coach? Are you happy with the current situation you're in?
Sure, yes, we need to improve, but it's normal. But the mind is a dynamism of the federation. I am all day in federation in my office. I work whole people work with yes, it's step by step we need to develop, but you know that, okay, you know that. I know that is the field, the organization, but we have the president, the CEO in the federation have the good motivation to improve. My staff also, and when I go to see the game, the player play 100%. Okay, the bad stadium, it's a bad field. But okay, we need the time. But the reality and the national team and the club work very well. We in this condition, for example, KCC play in the Champions League is very nice for them, okay, and also for Uganda.
Coach, I want to cross over to Joel for what is happening on social media. But before we go there, someone on social media is saying you should replace Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. Of course, we, as the Ugandan football fans, we are telling Arsenal, please, Sebastien Desabre is going to stay with the Uganda Cranes. But before I cross over to Joel, I want to ask you something about the World Cup. We were just a few days from the FIFA World Cup down in Russia. We have 5 African teams going in there against very tough competition. What do you make of our chances?
I think, really, in my words, one day, when Africa soon will win the World Cup.
Really?
Because the talent is here. Okay, the organization is improved. I see that in each country in Africa, some academies, federation build some good projects, and the reality is the best player is in Africa in football is like this. Okay, and the chance maybe for the Russia is difficult again for this competition, but with the time I think it's soon a team of Africa won the cup.
Coach, I just want to ask you a quick question. You coached Wydad Casablanca in Morocco, and so you understand the Moroccan football. What do you think about their chances? That's a very tough group they are in with Portugal and Spain, but also you are with Ismaili in Egypt. So what do you think about the form of Mohamed Salah, and can he carry the same with Egypt to the World Cup?
Yes, each team I have trained some players. He play in Morocco and in Egypt, in Tunisia also, in Taragi. But okay, I think for me, you have the chance. Depend after the group stage and depend the first game. The first game in this competition is crucial. It's a crucial game. But Egypt and Morocco, like Tunisia, for example, have a lot of support in Russia, and I think the team have the chance to go maybe the next next step. After. I believe in more in Nigeria for this competition, and in Senegal.
Sebastien Desabre, first of all, thank you very much for coming and joining us today. It's such a pleasure having you here come and answer most of those questions. We do hope you can come next time. We are running out of time, unfortunately. But do quickly send us those reactions. Any questions you want to ask the Ugandan head coach, the Uganda Cranes head coach, Sebastien Desabre. As a matter of fact, Joel Kamadi is standing by on social media to take in some of those questions and some of the responses as well. Joel.
All right, many thanks, Andrew. Very good interview there by Coach Sebastien Desabre, and very many comments as well coming in on social media. I'll start with Kefas Tenders, and something to just point out while the coach is still there. He says in the last half hour, William Luaga Chizito has just played a full time as his club lost 3-0 away in the Liga 1 in Romania. So he's just pointing out the fact that Uganda players are actually having game time, something that maybe the coach can comment on there. We have West Nile Prince. He's saying, don't forget the fact that Onduparaka FC brutalized Uganda Police 5-0. I think we had that one already. Kefas continues to say, yesterday Sebastien Desabre watched Uganda player Robert Kaketo play for his side as they fell 3-0 in Denmark using Y-Scout, a very powerful software application for monitoring players across the world. He can tell us a bit about that as well. And of course, we do have viewers from far away, as far as North America, where we have Zena, whose handle is Shane Shark. He's asking, where are you watching from? Me, North America. You, and of course Jean Seninde, who plays for Crystal Palace, of course, a Ugandan international. She says she's watching us from Crystal Palace in the UK. Maybe just one question that Sekamate James asked directly to Coach Sebastien Desabre. He asks, if Tadeo Luanga is to play all the 5 remaining matches for Vipers, then the trophy goes to Chitende, but otherwise it's for Villa Jogo, not forgetting I'm a Jogo fan. And he continues to say, does Coach Sebastien Desabre fancy Tadeo Luanga's chances that much? Andrew?
Well, there you go. Definitely, Tadeo Luanga has taken center stage, coach. I'm telling you, he's taken center stage for so many reasons. So, as we wrap up, I want to really ask you two questions. One of those is the Uganda Premier League, which of course is really your league because that's why you pick all these players. It's very tight at the moment. You have 3 teams at the top, from Villa to KCCA to Vipers. How happy are you with how competitive Uganda's top tier is? And please talk about Tadeo Luanga. How good is Tadeo Luanga?
I don't know.
That's a political answer.
Yes, no, but it's exciting. It's the end of season, very, very exciting, and it's nice for the player to play some games like this. Sometimes during one game was some tension. Okay, it's normal. It's the football, but Shaban or Tadeo, it's a good boy, but okay, he gives the maximum for his team. Sometimes with success, or sometimes no, he's nervous. But okay, it's a football.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Mr. Desabre.
Thank you for your invitation.
Yeah?
Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you very much. You say?
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
That's my second French word on the show. Quickly, guys, as I wrap up, Madoi, what are you looking out for this very week? It should be a very big sporting week coming up.
Yes, I'm looking out for the Cricket Cranes big match, big tournament taking place down in Malaysia. They are playing in the Division 4 World Cricket League. They started off on a bit of a shaky note, if not controversial, losing by 9 runs to the hosts, Malaysia. Controversial run out there of Deus Muhumuza, who has really acquitted himself as the all-rounder in the team. He looked set, to carry the team. It needed 10 runs off, the final over, and he was controversially run out. The Cricket Cranes bounced back actually today with a huge win, 189-run win over Bermuda. Bowled them out for 60 runs after having set them a victory target of 246, and of those 246, Roger Mukasa blazed, 97 runs. Very good to see the captain, in good touch. So they will play Vanuatu on Wednesday, and we shall see how that turns out. They need to place in the top 2 to qualify to the Division 3.
Okay, Asha, your big week?
Yes, I'm looking up for the start of training for the Crested Cranes, the Uganda women's football team. They're preparing for the Sekafa Women's Championship that's coming up in Kigali next week. So I think there's some big names coming in from abroad, which is for the first time a good thing for women's football in Uganda. So that's what I'm looking up to next week.
All right, there you go. Mark Sally is not on set, but I quickly asked him, and he says, where is Mark? He says he hopes Arsenal will make it to the final of the Europa League. That should be part of his debate. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us tonight. It's been such a pleasure for you, for us having you here on the press box. Thank you very much to Mr. Sebastien Desabre, the head coach of the Uganda Cranes. Keep those tweets coming in. We certainly are going to have reaction throughout the night and throughout the week as well. NTV Press Box will be back on Monday at 9:45. You didn't? Arsenal is not going to play. Please come, please come. Mark is here. Mark, please walk. No, come, Mark. Give Mark the microphone. You're saying Arsenal. What? Arsenal will not make it to the final of the Europa League.
No, they will not. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Good night, guys. Have a good night.